Good day, everyone. My name is Harold Hernan E. Mercado. I'm from the province of Oriental Mindoro, a public school teacher, and I am here to present my title proposal entitled A Promotional Mix Strategy to Improve and Sustain Pro-Port Tourism Operations in the Island Resorts in Mindoro provinces.
For the introduction, proper tourism has become a worldwide rallying cry for poverty reduction. It has the potential to play a key role in securing livelihoods and reducing poverty on a local level. However, it is frequently difficult to pinpoint how exactly proper tourism contributes to national poverty reduction initiatives or how it could contribute. In fact, proper tourism is not actually new in tourism industries around the world. It provides most typical and modern tourism services and facilities which the members of the marginalized sector can enjoy. Most proper tourism establishments serve as precursors of local or community based development as tourism related services are affordable, sometimes accessible, and less costly. As customarily known to many, proper tourism activities are in public places and state owned properties such as beach fronts, islands, and other areas which can be subjected to forcible lease agreements. This means that proper tourism always and most often experienced in rural areas. Meanwhile, several island resorts in the world are currently experiencing crisis due to overuse and overpopulation. Considering the unprecedented physical and man-made development undertaken to give way for the luxuries and caprice of tourists. The Maldives, for example, is now in the middle of the need to be rehabilitated due to serious cases of environmental degradation that occurs. But then business and tourism related establishments continue to rise at an uncontrollable level, resulting all to the preparation of a comprehensive rehabilitation plan. Several economists claim that in addressing issues brought by the crisis in tourism is the promotion of proper tourism. Moreover, most Asian countries consider tourism as a substantial global system that both impacts the environment and is impacted upon by the environment. In the Philippines, the challenges of environmental conservation in all aspects of the system to ensure substantial without posing danger on the viability of ecology were also being put into consideration. The sustainability in tourism requires not only the system-wide approach to environmental issues based on addressing of the complexity of the system, but also the integration of promising approach like proper tourism. However, it seems that all aspects of sustainability need to be covered with a deep look into the social, economic, and environmental dimension that are very extensive. The essence of sustainability and the sustainable development, along with proper tourism, is that they are dynamic. Development should be considered in different aspects and perspective of the dynamic framework of sustainability. There have been few newly discovered islands and beach resorts in the southern part of provinces of Oriental Mindoro and in the coast of Occidental Mindoro. These used to be once untouched, small to medium islands inhabited by timid and nature loving people. In particular, islands abound in the municipalities of Mansalay and Bulalakaw, Oriental Mindoro, and in San Jose, Sablayan, Magsaysay, in Abra de Ilog in Occidental Mindoro. All of them entice local and foreign tourists year-round. One of the most popular among these islands is the renowned Sugikay Island, which now becomes one of the most visited and known islands because of its pristine water, fresh and calm environment, and the unique place where one can relax from the hustle of bustling city. Sugikay, Buyaya, Grace, Apo, among these other have been becoming famous and known to people. There are issues and concern arises in able to preserve and protect the island to be devastated in the coming future and not to be like the other beautiful islets. We have to address issues and concern today. Small islands are of special interest for sustainable development because of their unique characteristics and vulnerabilities. They are ecologically fragile, have limited resources, susceptible to nature disasters and climate change. It is currently one of the progressing island resorts in the southern parts of Occidental and Oriental Mindoro. Because of the foregoing, this study anticipates that the need for a careful study on the characterization of the proper tourism businesses and activities. The present stands for profit and services of entertainment and comfort to tourists will not be sustainable. One if and if the resort's island will not be preserved. It is in this point that the researcher is inspired to undertake a study on the assessment of the specific state of operation of proper tourism establishments in island resorts in Mindoro provinces. For the objectives of the study, this study proposed a promotional mix strategy to improve and sustain proper tourism operations in the island resorts in Mindoro provinces. Here are the specific objectives. Number one, characterize the state of operation of proper tourism establishment in island resorts in Mindoro provinces as a type of accommodation, form of ownership, size of capital, number of years in operation, facilities, services offered, number of personnel, location and accessibility, accreditation, and government support. Number two, assess the extent of the current promotional tools used by the proper tourism establishment in creating awareness as to advertising, personal selling, direct marketing, sales promotion, and public relations. Number three, examine the practices adopted by proper tourism establishments in managing operations as to planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, and budgeting. Number four, identify the problems encountered by proper tourism establishment in island resorts in Mindoro provinces, considering as the state of operation. Number five, evaluate the differences among the assessment of the respondents on the extent of the current promotional tools used by proper tourism as to its indicators. Number six, assess the relationship between the extent of the current promotional tools by proper tourism and the practices adopted by proper tourism establishment in managing operations. Number seven, assess the relationship between the extent of the current promotional tools used by proper tourism and the problems encountered by proper tourism establishment in island resorts in Mindoro provinces. And last, number eight, propose a promotional mix strategy to improve and sustain proper tourism operations in the island resorts in Mindoro provinces based on the results of the study. For the review of the related literature, proper tourism emphasizes the maximizing of local employment and services, the extension of local linkages, and the construction of infrastructure that serves the poor. In addition to the goals and benefits of sustainable and community based tourism, tourism also fits well with the concept of proper growth because of its labor intensive and inclusive nature, as well as its potential to capitalize on natural and cultural assets of poor rural communities with few other possibilities for growth. Tourism has been connected to poverty reduction due to its ability to create proper growth, which is defined as growth that allows the poor to actively engage in and profit considerably from economic activity. According to Chai Chi in 2016, tourism is generally considered proper if it provides the following. Number one, economic gain through the creation of full or part time employment of the development of SME opportunities through sales to tourism businesses or to tourists. Number two, other livelihood benefits such as access to potable water, roads, which bring benefits to poor producers through, for example, improved access to markets, improved health or education. And number three, opportunities and capacity for engagement in decision making in order that the poor are able to improve their livelihoods by securing better access to tourists and tourism enterprises. The role of accommodation in tourism, the intangible parts of hospitality and accommodation, which include the environment of lodging places and more crucially the services that the guest has experienced, are possibly more complicated than the concrete aspects. Most hospitality and lodging establishments are a mix of intangible and material elements, according to Coover, Fletcher, Fial, Gilbert, and One Hill, 2005. Also, accommodation supports tourist attractions by providing opportunities to tourists to spend a night or more in a destination. This sector of the tourism businesses is also referred to as the lodging industry and hospitality and related services, both concepts meaning providing a place to stay for a tourist as well as catering to their other needs. For the methods, this study will use descriptive correlational, and comparative designs in order to develop a promotional mix strategy to improve and sustain proper tourism operations in the island resorts in Mindoro provinces. The goals of these types of research is to describe the data and characteristic of the subjects of the study, elaborate the relationship among the variables, and to identify and analyze similarities and differences among the subjects being studied in order to draw conclusions about them. This study is quantitative and will use survey questionnaire and non-probability sampling. For the participants of the study, the participants of the study will be composed of 30 proper stakeholders composed of tourism establishment operators, owners, and managers, tourist guests, and the officials of the Municipal Tourism Office. The sample will be computed using rows of online calculator with a 5% margin of error and 95% confidence level. For the sampling technique, the study will utilize purposive sampling. For the instrument, this study will use of a self-made survey form and a three-part descriptive questionnaire. Part 1 will be for the characterization of the state of operation of proper tourism establishment in island resorts in Mindoro provinces, while Part 2 will be for the extent of effects to target clients' decision-making process of the current promotional tools used by the proper establishment using Rogers' innovation adaptation model. And for the part 3 will be about the practices adopted by proper tourism establishment in managing operations, and for the part 4 will solicit responses on the problems encountered by the proper tourism establishment in island resorts in Mindoro provinces. For the reliability of the instrument, the reliability of the questionnaire will be tested using Chromback Alpha. During the pilot testing, the questionnaire will be answered by the local tourists and establishment owners in the province of Oriental Mindoro who will not be part of the actual administration of the instrument. The table below shows the result of the reliability test for part 2, 3, and 4 of the questionnaire indicating the items are valid and reliable for use in the conducting survey. For the procedure, for the data analysis, this study will employ frequency and percentage weighted mean, ranking, one-way analysis of variance, and person-hour product moment correlation. All inferential statistic computations will be executed using SPSS. For the ethical consideration, no specific identities will be provided in this study to maintain the survey's high level of confidentiality. The respondents' identities will not be divulged unless they are local inhabitants or barangay municipal authorities in the area where the tourism establishments are located. The researcher will provide no personal options, only information and results based on the data that will be gathered. This is the part 1 and part of the questionnaire. And this is the part 3 of the questionnaire. And the last part, the part 4 of the questionnaire. And the following are my references. Again, this is Harold Herlan E. Mercado, and thank you for listening.